What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. The wait is over. It is finally game week for the New York Giants as they're getting ready to and set to take on the Denver Broncos. And as the week progresses, I'll definitely have a preview video up for you guys, and I'll be live throughout the week. I'm going to be live Thursday night calling the Dallas Cowboys game, so hopefully some of you guys come on over for that. Wednesday, I haven't decided yet, but I may do a midday stream kind of talking generally about the NFL, doing picks against the spread, my preseason power rankings, things like that. I think that would be a fun live exercise. Also, Friday, I'm going to be live with Bad Dog for Talkin Giants on the channel where we'll be talking extensively about this matchup. I'll also have a preview video up, and then the night before the game will be live as well, and the game on Sunday. So we're going to have a lot of live content on the channel leading up into the game, probably starting Wednesday. So super excited about that. But in this video, I wanted to talk about some of the current events that happened today for the New York Giants. It's been slow for the Giants the last couple of days, mainly because the Giants had a couple of days off leading into game week as they prepare for their week one opponent with the Denver Broncos. But the team captains were announced today. There was some further news on Saquon Barkley, some further news on Engram and the tight end room in general. And I kind of just wanted to give a general outlook on my three keys of the game without going into too much detail before I get injury reports and really sharing with you guys some of the things that I found in this matchup, which I'll put in my preview video between the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. But three keys to this game that I think need to happen for the New York Giants to win. But we're going to start with the news of the day, and the first thing we're going to talk about is the new team captains for the New York Giants. Now, Jordan Renan, when he tweeted this, made a mistake. He later corrected it, so just want to say that. But these are the captains for the Giants. A new Giants captain, Logan Ryan. Other captains, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Nick Gates, Blake Martinez, Jabril Peppers, and Graham Gano. Now, of course, the only mistake he made there's actually three new team captains, that being Logan Ryan, that being Graham Gano, and that finally being Nick Gates. Now, in terms of these selections for the captains, I am thrilled that they went with Logan Ryan. It had to happen. This guy's been one of the leaders of this football team, a veteran presence, a guy that has really helped in recruiting some players to come to the New York Giants and has been a breath of fresh air as a New York Giants fan since his appearance with the Giants late in August last year when we signed him right before the season started. Definitely excited about that. Jones returns. You expected that. The quarterback, Saquon Barkley as well. Martinez, who was a captain in his first year with the Giants. And Peppers, who was a captain as well. The two captains that have been replaced are Dalvin Tomlinson, who of course is no longer with the New York Giants, and Nate Ebner, who may or may not be coming back, who was on it due to special teams. The two guys who will replace them are Nick Gates. Love to hear that. I thought maybe they'd go with Nate Solder due to the fact that he's been a captain before. He's kind of the elder statesman on that offensive line, even though he's not a starter. I'm thrilled that they gave it to Nick Gates. That guy, to me, is probably the leader of that offensive line. He's definitely probably the toughest guy in that offensive line and a fan favorite of New York Giants fans. So love to see that Nick Gates got a captain badge. And in addition to that, Graham Gano, who of course was fantastic for the Giants last year. He was 31 of 32 in field goal attempts, and he's going to be big for the Giants this year. We're going to need to we're going to need him to come close to duplicating what he did last year, but certainly very deserving of that captain's badge. So the Giants go with 7 captains this year. I think last year they went with 6. I could be wrong on that. They go with 7, and Logan Ryan is officially named a team captain for the New York Giants. Much deserving for him, as well as Nick Gates and Graham Gano as well, the 3 newcomers. This coming out from Jordan Renan as well. Captain Logan Ryan said it's very important to get Adoree Jackson back this week. Makes everyone's job easier. Expectation seems to be they will have Jackson versus the Broncos. It's good to get him back this week so we could start running for our stuff together. And, of course, Adoree Jackson suffered a minor ankle sprain about, I want to say about a week ago, maybe it was 10 days ago. The fear initially was that he may miss some time, and that would have been very bad for this football team, being how thin we truly are at that position. So it's great to see Adoree Jackson back on the football field. And when you look at some of the weapons that this Denver Broncos offense possesses, we're going to need him. And I think he's one of the X factors of this defense this year. If we're strong in coverage, we're going to be able to get after the quarterback. So good news there. It sounds as if Adoree Jackson is definitely trending down the right path. And I didn't pull this up, but Joe Judge basically hinted at expect most of the guys that are banged up to play. However, I don't expect Evan Engram to suit up, and we'll talk more about that throughout the video. This coming out from Field Yates, and I wanted to talk briefly about this. A lot of people ask me about this on Twitter, and maybe they're panicking or whatever. I don't know. The Giants right now are a little bit over the salary cap. Them and I think about 6 or 7 other teams. The reason being is the Giants late in the process went out and they acquired guys like Billy Price, like Bredesen, to fill in the offensive line. I think they're about $2 million or $1.5 million over the salary cap. Well, today they made a couple of minor moves, Josh Jackson being one of them. This coming out from Field Yates. Giants cornerback Josh Jackson agreed to a reworked deal for the final year of his rookie deal. He's now due a base salary of $920,000. Previous $1.33 million. New York is close to the cap, and it creates a bit more space as well. They're just trying to get under the cap. Don't expect them to make any more, moves from this. Right now, they're over the cap. They have to be under the cap by the start of the season, and I think it's about $1 million or $1.5 million more they got to figure out. Doesn't look like they're going to extend any players like Peppers before the year starts, but we'll have to wait and see. But expect the New York Giants to make a couple of other minor adjustments to their player salaries before the year starts to make sure they're under that $185 million threshold. This then coming out from Ian Rappaport. Giants running back Saquon Barkley is gearing up to play Sunday versus the Broncos, and sources say he's close to being fully cleared to do so following major knee surgery. The team needs to watch him through Thursday to gauge how his body responds to the workload, but he's close, and Joe Judge was very encouraging today as well. He said he can't put words in Saquon's mouth, but he's smiling at the effort that Saquon Barkley's put forth, and I think we all know at this point in time, we know that Judge isn't going to come out until he absolutely has to say it, but Saquon Barkley is going to be shooting up for the New York Giants. The only question I have right now is how much of a role is he going to have week 1, because we're going to need him out there. He's our best weapon, and the Giants may ease him back a little bit. This coming out from Renan. Saquon Barkley came out late last week when he faced contact for the first time with no issues. Last hurdle to clear is Wednesday's padded practice. All goes well, and Barkley's expected to be on the field week 1 versus Denver. Another thing I want to talk about, I'm not sure if I pulled up the notes. Yes, I did right here, actually. Coming out from Art Stapleton. Giants razor thin at tight end on the active roster. Evan Engram and Caden Smith both on the side working with trainers. Kyle Rudolph, only one on the 53-man practicing right now. Ryan is, who of course they acquired, the former New England tight end. Chris Myrick, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Jake Hossman on the practice squad. So as of today, there was only one tight end working with the first team. Now, the media didn't have full attendance at practice. They were only allowed to see a brief part of it. And until I hear otherwise, I think the Caden Smith thing is minor. Remember when people were flipping out about Andrew Thomas? Now it's something that I'll definitely keep my ear out for. And if something more comes up, that could be devastating for the New York Giants. We need to be as healthy as we possibly can at that tight end spot, especially expecting that Evan Engram is not going to play for the New York Giants this week. But I'm going to tell you what, it could be a blessing in disguise. And we all, we don't all love Evan Engram, but I think we all know what Evan Engram could bring to the table for this New York Giants offense. He's got to hold on to the football, but he's certainly a guy that could be a matchup nightmare for an opposing defense, and especially against a team like Denver where you have to work the middle of the field. But to me, Caden Smith is a better blocker. He's more sure-handed, and he's a guy that I would trust more in third and short situations at the tight end position. So I don't think the Evan Engram loss would be as big as some may think. It looks like Rudolph's going to be out there. He should certainly help in the red zone, and the Giants are going to need it with this red zone defense that the Denver Broncos possess. And I'll jump further into detail about just how good that red zone defense is in my preview video. But Vic Fangio's defense is no joke, and they only improved it this year with the addition of Von Miller and all the pieces that they added in the secondary. But that's going to bring me to the 3 keys, in my opinion, and just a general 3 keys. I'm not going to go into individual matchups, things like that. But my 3 big keys of this game if the New York Giants are going to come out with a victory in just 6 short days on Sunday. And the first thing, we're going back to the basics, baby. These two teams are very similar, right? Both of them have a questionable quarterback, Bridgewater versus Jones. Both of them have a questionable offensive line, and both of them have a strong defense. Now you could definitely argue that one may be stronger in one area and one may be stronger in the other, but both of them, the strength of their team is the defense. For the Giants, when you look at this Denver Broncos team, the one thing that they struggle with on both sides, offensively and defensively, is running the football. They have a rookie running back, but in terms of defense last year, they surrendered 4.8 yards per carry, which ranked 28th in the NFL. Now, of course, Von Miller is back. He may have something to say about that, but outside of him, they didn't make any major additions in terms of the run department on their defense. And when you look at how strong this secondary is, that has got to be the key. Run the ball and stop the run. That is my first huge key in this football game for both of these teams. Whoever does that better in this game is going to win this football game. And on the other side, for the Denver Broncos, and of course, Dalvin Tomlinson's out, so we'll see how the New York Giants respond in terms of their run defense this year. Dalvin Tomlinson was a huge key factor in that. Of course, we picked up Shelvin, and we've got, obviously Martinez as our middle linebacker, and we'll see how we do. The Broncos offensive line, even though it was very, very underrated in pass protection, I'll jump further into it in a couple of days. Their run blocking was horrific. They were last year in the NFL in stuff rate, meaning 22% of the time that their running backs touched the ball last year, they were either hit before the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. So that's something that I think the New York Giants could potentially win that battle. And if they do, because we do know the strength of our offensive line is the run blocking department, that would allow them to chew up the clock. And in a game like this, I think that is as big, as important as anything else. You have to be able to run the ball effectively, stop the run, and force the opposing quarterback to throw. Both of them possess very strong secondaries. So if the Giants can win that battle, I think they stand a very good chance to win the football game on Sunday. My second big key to this game, the Giants have got to play mistake-free football. And I know a lot of Giants fans want Daniel Jones to go out there and air out the rock. And I'm all for it this year. I need to see Daniel Jones throw the football down the field this year. I need to see a more explosive offense. But this week, you have to take the opponent into account. You're going up against arguably the best secondary. You're going up against the two-time defending best red zone defense in football. And you have no Evan Engram more than likely. You don't have much familiarity with Kenny Golladay. Saquon Barkley's probably not going to have a full role. The New York Giants have to play football the way they did the second half last year offensively. And I'm not telling you, I'm sure they'll try to take a shot or two throughout the game, but they have got to play mistake-free football. You cannot hand the Denver Broncos easy field position. You cannot turn the football over. If the New York Giants do not turn the football over in this game, they have a very good chance of winning. But that's easier said than done. The one thing I'll say about this Denver defense last year, even though they've made a variety of improvements, they were bad in terms of creating turnovers. As a matter of fact, they had the worst turnover differential in football in 2020 at -16 and only created 16 turnovers. Of course, their revamped secondary could certainly have a lot to do with that, and you have to figure the quarterback change between Bridgewater and Locke will have an effect on that as well in terms of not turning it over on offense quite as much. But the Giants have got to win the turnover battle, and they cannot turn the football over. And then finally, and this may even be the biggest key of the game, and a lot of people don't think about this because it's minor, but in a game like this, when you're fighting for inches between two strong defenses, I think special teams is imperative in this football game. Riley Dixon has got to pin them deep in their own zone. They've got to have good punt coverage. They have got to back them up. There's no denying it. That is a huge key in this game. And of course, Graham Gano will be imperative. We all want to score touchdowns, but in a game like this, you take the points where you can get them, and we're going to need Graham Gano to be on point. I see a lot of field goals being put up week one between the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos. We'll see who makes less mistakes because ultimately, I think that'll be the victor. But I just wanted to go over a couple of key points leading up into the game this week. We still got 6 days. We still got a lot more to talk about that I'm going to share with you guys and get some of your guys' opinions when I go live and everything else. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.